Most people of my age, which is early 20s, I'm 22, and I know I might not look it because I'm bald and I've got a beard, but if I shave this off, trust me, I'd look like a baby. Most people my age don't really like motorcycles like this. They're more into the sports bikes, the Yamaha MT-07s, the MT-09s, the Ducatis, the Honda Fireblades, and I couldn't be less interested in those motorcycles. I am drawn to beautiful classically styled bikes like this. So it's an honour to review this bike, and in this video we're going to tell you our thoughts on this bike, but more specifically my thoughts, because this man has ridden it a few times and this is the first time I've actually had an experience with this bike. So let's get into it.
I've reviewed this bike a few times now, and in one of my reviews I said it is my favourite Triumph Bonneville of all time. Then I reviewed the T100 a year after that, and I thought, you know, I think I might favour the T100. But it genuinely is very close between the two for different reasons, but we go into that in the video.
And we've got a T100 coming very soon, haven't we?
Yeah, so it'd be nice for you to see what you think of that as well.
Yeah, again, I've not ridden that one yet. So
no, it's lovely.
And also I would like to, we've been doing a few comparisons recently, because sometimes you think, well, I like that bike and I like that bike, but how do they compare to each other? And there's not many videos, or sometimes there's no videos comparing two different bikes. So I quite fancy comparing that to a Royal Enfield Interceptor.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think they're a close match, but for different reasons.
It's funny when you're talking about comparisons though, because sometimes we get comments saying, oh, you know, that's like comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
because do you fancy a curry tonight or a pizza?
Yeah,
you
or
know,
a Chinese.
Always compare things that are very different, because
Yeah.
sometimes you think, well, do I want a Range Rover 4x4 or do I want a sports car? You know, and you can compare things that are very different. Obviously, they're both motorbikes, and there's more similar than that. But you do often have to compare apples to oranges, so there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I agree. While I remember, please do make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's free, and we do everything to do with motorbikes. So if you like motorbikes and you like two idiots like us, then you're in the right place. I've ridden this bike in many different conditions now, whether it's the country lanes like the one we're on now, single track lanes, dual carriageways, busy traffic, through towns, through a city. And this bike is a real joy to ride in every scenario. It's very easy to ride, and it's got a very light clutch. It's ever so smooth. The engine sounds fantastic. I'd say this is one of the best sounding Bonnevilles from standard.
Definitely.
The exhaust setup is really nice, isn't it? And it's beautiful. It's stunning. Triumph are very good at hiding the catalytic converter and everything underneath, so you can't see it from the side, and these are very low down, so again that's another reason why you can't see that. But that also does mean that if you go around any sharp bends and you lean in too far, you will scrape the pegs, so it makes you ride more like a gentleman rather than a hooligan, because you can enjoy the scenery, look at what's around you, and if you want to toot it, that's not a very good word, is it? If you want to hoon it past someone, you can do that very easily. It's got plenty of grunt for overtaking and accelerating. It's fast.
It is.
But it's also an excellent cruiser.
Yeah.
A lot of people worry about the bars on the Speedmaster because they've got quite an extreme sweep back, and that's something that I worried about after seeing the old man's videos on this bike. I always thought, I don't think I would like the Speedmaster. On paper, I thought it's probably not a bike that I would enjoy riding, but I was ever so wrong. Now, when I sit on the bike, it's ever so comfortable. I actually thought it would feel awkward, or I would kind of feel uneasy and sort of find it hard to get used to, but it's not at all. They are really swept back, so I mean if you held them at the angle that your hand is normally on a flat bar, then you would have your elbows right in and you'd look a bit silly, and it's not particularly comfortable. So you end up holding them at a bit of an angle like that, which is perfectly fine. But that also means when you pull the brakes in, if you really want to stop, you need to adjust your hand so you can get the full compression of the brake lever. But Perfectly comfortable, and what I love about these bars is there's absolutely zero clutter. There's nothing on the bars that doesn't need to be. You've got a lovely sleek handlebar clamp, lovely chrome handlebars, beautiful mirrors which you can see all of the road behind you on, and a lovely analog dial, which I've said before is a bit plasticky, so could have done with a sort of dial that's more like the Thruxton RS, which is a work of art. But other than that, it's an absolutely beautiful view. You've got this absolutely stunning fuel tank underneath you, which is also rather small, so you do have to fill up quite a lot, but it is beautiful. From front to back, this bike is superb quality. You've got a lovely fat front tyre, which is beautiful, and this lovely chrome spoked wheel, absolutely stunning. But the fat tyre means that it's not unsettled by any potholes or little things in the road. It goes over them very nicely, and it handles well because you've still got a reasonably sharp rake on this bike, so it kind of balances it out. The front mudguard is a lovely shape. I love this groove that goes down the middle of it. That looks beautiful, and it's metal. It could do with being a little bit higher coverage so that you don't get mud on the radiator and the bottom of the engine in the winter. But is this a bike you'd ride in the winter? Probably most people would only ride this on a nice sunny day. The headlamp is a lovely design. It's plastic, but it looks metal, so I don't have a problem with that personally. And it's LED, so it does light up the road in the night very nicely. As I said, the bars are beautiful. The fuel tank is a stunning shape, fits nicely within your legs. Lovely fuel cap, which is chrome, and it's a lockable one. The exhaust is stunning. The engine is beautiful, really is. Look at it. Every part of it is just stunning. There's nothing on this where you go, well, that looks a bit like they've saved on money and ruin the quality. It really is fantastic. You've got these sort of fake carburetors on the side, which I don't know how the general public feel about that. I don't care, to be honest. I think it looks quite cool, and it hides the fuel injection. But some purists might not like that it's not real, but it's also something that makes it look like an old bike. So to the untrained eye, you might come up to this bike and think it was 30, 40 years old, but it's not. It's brand new. The seat is lovely and padded, very comfortable. The pegs are really nice. You've got forward controls on the Speedmaster, so it's a lovely riding position for a taller person. I'll show you that in a bit. The rear pegs are really nice. Look at that quality. It's just fantastic. And you get a lovely satisfying click when you pull them out and push them back in. The rear seat is a bit more firm, so I think a passenger might get a sore bottom after a while. You've also got a grab rail on the back, which is nice, so they can grab onto that as well as have their hands around you. But also you could strap stuff to the back of this bike using that. The sort of bit that it bolts onto has sort of got this weird ripply finish, which I'm not a massive fan of. Why isn't it just all chrome? But this rear mudguard, very nice, and again it's metal, and again the rear wheel, just stunning. So if you're wondering what it looks like with me sat on it and with a giant ape on the back, this is what it looks like. So I don't think this is your usual size of passenger, but you could do it, couldn't you?
Do you know what? It's quite comfortable.
Is it?
Yeah.
Would it be for more than 20 minutes though? Might be a bit firm, I think.
It's comfortable. I think if I were being a passenger a lot, I think I'd like a higher backrest here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a sissy bar or something. Not too high, not like a chopper, but that's quite a comfortable seat. And the legs aren't too sort of bent up like I'm a jockey on a racehorse, so
that's good.
That's pretty good.
Good. The Speedmaster produces 76.9 brake horsepower at 6,100 RPM and 106 Nm of torque at 4,000 RPM. And this is perfectly quick enough. It does feel very brisk. It doesn't particularly like being below sort of 2,500 RPM. Once you get it above 3.5, then it really starts to kick in. It's perfectly enough. This engine is used in a few other models, and they change the sort of mapping and the compression ratio between the models to give them a completely different feel. That's why the Speed Twin 1200 feels a lot quicker than this does, but it's just perfect. It really is. This is like the Jaguar of the motorcycle world. It's really classy, it's very gentlemanly, but when you want the power and the torque, it's there.
I think the Speedmaster is a classy looking motorcycle, and it's the sort of bike that you could turn up anywhere on and it would look impressive. So if you were invited to a movie premiere somewhere and you turned up on this with all the paparazzi taking photos, it would look really grand. So it's the sort of bike that impresses people, but not in an ostentatious way.
Yeah, it's not pretentious, is it? But
No.
It's also wherever you go. I mean, the other day I rode this bike to a lovely, beautiful old market town in Rutland called Uppingham, and I parked the bike in the town square. When I came back to it, there was a group of sort of elderly ladies selling flowers, and they said, "Oh, I've been admiring your bike for the last hour." So wherever you go, people will talk to you about this thing and admire it, because it's just a work of art, isn't it?
So you can pull the birds on it.
Yeah, you can pull any granny you fancy.
That's good.
Right.
Oh, so we just heard a chiff chaff, but then I just heard a yellowhammer.
Did you?
I love them. I haven't heard one for years. Right, motorbikes, that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Not birds.
What do you think of this motorbike then, character-wise?
Character's something we go on about quite a lot, and we love character. But I think the word character is misunderstood a lot of the time. And people who ride sort of modern, refined bikes tend to sort of hate on bikes that we call characterful and just say, oh, they're just a pile of rubbish. I would beg to differ. Maybe I'm wrong. But I like bikes that have little sort of charms and things that are imperfections, but it's part of its beauty in a way. It really is, isn't it?
Yeah, because the fastest, the most perfect, doesn't always mean the most engaging. And, you know, for a little while with the Porsches, when they brought out the PDK gearbox, it's so much quicker than the manual gearbox. But then people started to realise that I had more fun with the manual gearbox. You're doing all the stuff. Motorbikes are going that way as well, with this quick shifters and the clutch that sort of does things for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to pull it in. I can't remember. What it's called.
E-clutch.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So I mean, you might as well get an electric bike and just do that, mightn't you? So that's boring, even if it's faster. But speed isn't everything. Even though it's called a Speedmaster.
Yeah.
But it's the
it would have
character.
been a fast. The original Speedmasters would have been considered fast, wouldn't they?
But I mean, it has got character. It sounds nice, but I mean, perhaps if it was less refined, that would give it a little bit more character, and that would be even better.
Yeah, it is refined. But saying that, it does have nice pops and bangs on the overrun. It makes a lovely burbly sound, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, if you put an aftermarket exhaust on it, I think that would really take it to the next level, and it would be much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I've seen lots of videos of them. They do sound fantastic. But I like a little bit of imperfection sometimes.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a stupid thing to say, but that's just the way I am.
Yeah.
So I would say the Speedmaster is absolutely my favourite Triumph so far. Now, I've not ridden them all yet, and perhaps the T100 may sway me. So stay tuned to find out. That is coming very soon. I'm very keen to ride that bike. On another note, my Harley Davidson, I've got to take it in this Saturday to have something fixed. It's got the ride-by-wire throttle, something's not quite right. So the throttle, sometimes you go to accelerate and nothing happens, and other times it does. So I think something's loose within the throttle mechanism. So get that sorted, and then it'll be up for sale. So if you're interested in buying a 2021 Harley Davidson Softail Standard, do let us know in the comments or send us a message over on Instagram, because it is available. Very soon I will have a new motorcycle, so I need to make some space in the garage for it. So I need to get rid of my ginormous Harley Davidson. So if you want it, it's available. But we'll see you in the next one.